In this session, we are going to discuss Django template. Django template. What is a Django templates? Let's understand Django template. Last time we have seen what is a view in Django and how we can create a view in Django. So you can check here. Last time here we have created one view with name display. View is nothing. View is just like an Python function which accept take a parameter as a request object and return the response back to the client, which return HTTP response back to the client. So here we are returning the HTTP response from the view, but sometimes what happens? We need to write down some HTML code inside Python script. We can write here some HTML code inside Python script and we can return that as a response back to the client. But writing writing HTML code inside Python script is not recommended. Why? Because inside this view, you can write lot of HTML code. That is not recommended. So we can create template and whatever HTML code we need to write down, we can write that HTML code inside a template and that template we can return from the view as a response back to the client. So what we can do, instead of writing HTML code inside the view, it is not recommended. We are writing the HTML code in a template and we can return that template from the view as a response back to the client. So Django template is nothing just like writing HTML code in a separate place. So it is not recommended to write HTML code inside Python script because it reduces the readability because Python code mixed with HTML code. So no separation of roles. So Python developer has to concentrate on both Python code and HTML code. Python code and HTML code. So here HTML code we can separate and Python code we can separate. So how we can create a template? Let's understand. So last time you can check here in our drive, app drive, we have created one folder, Django projects. Django projects. You can see under this folder, we have created one project, first project. Open this project. So now you can check here under this project, we have one manage.py file and we have one file, first project. Now, whatever templates we have required to create, templates means template contain HTML code. Template basically what contain? Template contain HTML code. So whatever templates file you have required to create in your project, so all the template we need to place under templates folder. So here you can open this our project. You can check here in this project, there is no template folder. So what we need to do, we can create one template folders. So right click here and now here I'm going to create one folder templates. Here I'm going to create one folder templates. Let's here we created one folder with name templates. Under this folder, I'm going to place all template, whatever templates we have required for our project, we are going to place all the template under templates folder. So now we can open our VS Code and now you can check here one folder is created with name templates. Under templates, we are going to place our all the templates. And after creating the project, after creating the project, you can check here in the project by default template folder is not created. So we need to create template folder inside the main project folder. In that template folder, create a separate folder. Yes, no? So we have created template folder. Under template folder, we are going to place all the template. So now, after creating the template, we need to tell our project what is the location for our templates. So here you can check here, go to the setting.py file. In this setting.py file, you can check here you have path module. Let's here we import one more module, import OS module. We're importing OS module. In this OS module, let's check here, guys. Here we have, this is a templates. This is a list of template. And under template, you can check here. Here we have one attribute directory. So now what we need to do here, we need to specify our template directory location where our templates are available. We need to specify our template location. What we need to? We need to specify template location. So let's now we create our template directory. So here, first of all, I'm going to create one variable template underscore directory template underscore directory. I'm going to create one variable template underscore directory. This variable contains the template directory location. Actually, here we have imported OS module. In the OS module, we have one variable path method. You can check it. os.path. os.path. Here we have one variable with name os.path. Now in this path, we need to call one method join method. Using join method, we can join the path. Actually, template folder available under base directory. What is a base directory? First project. Under first project, we have one folder template. How we can get the base directory location? You can check here at the top. You can check here. Already we have one variable base directory which contains your base directory location. So you can use this base directory, and in this base directory variable, you can join which folder location? Template folder. So let's now in the second parameter, we can specify folder name that we want to join with our base directory. So now it will create yes no one path which denoting your template file location. Now template underscore directory now contain your template directory location. That directory location we need to set here. Where is my template directory available? Here. So after creating the template folder, where we need to place all the template, and that then we need to set our template directory location in setting that py file. Now once you run this application, so then Python, yes no, Django will understand, yes no, where your directory location is available. So here you have specify your template directory location. After that, we can save this file. Now we can create our template now under template folders. So this is our template directory. Select if you want to create any HTML template file, you can create here. We create one template file. Click here. Here I'm going to create one template with name wish.html. Suppose I'm creating one simple template, HTML template with name wish.html. And here you can write HTML code. You can write start HTML code. So here we write the HTML code. HTML tag open, and now HTML tag is close. And here, whatever HTML code you need to write down, you can write. So in this way, we can separate Python logic and HTML logic. HTML code and Python code we can separate. In a view, we can define only Python code, and in the template, we can define HTML code. Let's now we create a template code first. Body section now. Now here, what we want to return? We want to write down one heading tag, simple. Welcome to everyone. Welcome to everyone. Simple, I'm writing one text. And now H1 tag is closed. Now save it. After saving, now go to your view. We have created one template, very simple template. First, we have created wish.html. So my requirement, when client make a request to any view needs to return template as a response back to the client. So I am going to define one view. So let's here under views.py. So whatever view you need to define, you need to define view under views.py file. So go to the views.py file. Under views.py file, define one view. Let's here we create one view with the views. Views nothing in the Django. View is just like a Python function which take request object as a parameter and return response back to the client. Now here what we want to return response back to the client? Here we want to return HTML template as a response back to the client. Basically here what we want to return? Here we want to return HTML template as a response back to the client. Last time we have created display view. Here we are returning HTTP response back to the client. But now we want to return, what we want to return? We want to return HTML template as a response back to the client. How we can return? Let's understand. If you want to return, yes or no, if you want to return HTML template as a response back to the client, here we are using one method, render method. Which method? Render method. Let's understand. A render method. What is a render? A render actually is most used function that combines a template with a context directory and return an HTTP response object with rendered text. Actually, our view what return? Our view return HTTP response back to the client. Render method what does? Actually, it will combines, it will encapsulate, it will combine template and context directory. What is a context directory? We will discuss later on. But if you want to combine template as a HTTP response in the form of HTTP response, then you can use a render method. So what we need to do, first of all, we need to import render function. From where we need to import render function? So you need to import from Django dot shortcuts. We can use shortcuts. Now we need to import from Django shortcut. We need to import render. You can check it. We need to import render function. Once you import this render function, now you can return as a response back to the client. So what we can return? We can return a render function. A render function what does? Actually, this function takes request object as it the first argument. You can check it. This render function what does? You can check it. This render function will take first object as a request object. Second parameter it will can take as a template name. Actually, it also return HTTP response whose content is filled with the result of calling Django.template. Render method takes as a request object as first argument. In the first argument, we can pass a request object as a parameter. Second argument, it will take template name. It will take template name. Which template content you want to encapsulate, you want to combine, which template code you want to return. So which template code you want to combine in HTTP response. So I need to return which template code, wish.html. So here we pass that template name, wish.html. Okay, third parameter, it will take context object. What is a context object? That we will discuss later on. But first of all, here we try to understand. If you want to encapsulate, yeah, you want to combine, say, template code and want to return HTTP response object with render text, then you can use a render method. A render method combines template with a context directory and return an as HTTP response object back to the client. You can check here. It return which type response? HTTP response by combining your template code and context directory. Yes, no? What is a context directory? That part we will discuss later on. But it combines your template code and returns as a HTTP response back to the client. Now let's save it. So now this render method, this view method will return which template code, wish.html. After defining this view, now we need to define the URL pattern by which we can access this view. So go to the urls.py file. In this url.py file, we can define URL pattern for our view. So let's now we define URL pattern for our view. Here you can check here how we can define URL pattern for our view using path method. Using which method? Path. You can check here. Here, what is a path? Path function actually is contained with the Django URL module within a Django project code base. Path used for routing URL. Path actually used for routing URL to appropriate view function within a Django. Actually, for this view, for this URL pattern, which view required to invoke, we can define routing here. You can check here. Here you can define. We can use path math function path. Okay, what is the view? I give the view name like this. Yes, no, this slash. For which view? So here we have views. Under views, we have one view with name this. And third parameter, you can check here. In the first parameter, you can specify URL pattern. In the second parameter, you can specify your view. For which view? This is a URL pattern. And the third parameter, you can specify the name for your view. You can check here. Here you can specify name also. Name is optional. If you want to define, you can define. Otherwise, you can ignore. Now you can save this project and now copy this URL pattern once again and copy this URL and go to the browser and check here. Let's run this web page. And now we need to type the URL pattern /this. Now you can check here. What you will get as a response? Welcome to everyone. Welcome to everyone. You can check here. Now you have written template response from the view. Now view what returning? Actually, it encapsulates the template code in a response. So in this way, you can define Python logic inside a view and HTML logic you can write inside a template. You have not required to combine both. Let's here we create more than one more view. So let's here we create one view. I give the view name like home, which take request object. And now what return? Now it return render function. Render function what will take? First parameter as a request object. Second parameter template name. Which template you want to return? Home.html. Home.html. And now under this template folder, let's now we create new file. And now home.html. Home.html. Now copy this HTML code. And let's here we write down. This is the home page. This is a home page. Home.html. And now suppose go to our view. Here we are returning template. Which template in a response? Which template code we want to return in response? Home.html. Let's we define one more view. Def about us. Yes, no? About us. You can check it. About us. So it will take request object as a parameter. Now we are return render and first parameter as a request object. Second parameter, which template code you want to return? Suppose about.html code. So let's here we create one more template file. Under template folder, I give the name like about.html. Copy the home.html code and now just paste here. And now here we write down this is a about page. This is a about page. Now similar we create one more contact.html. Let's we create one more template contact.html. In this context.html, let's just rewrite down. This is a context list. So you can check here. There are several pages we have created. One is a about.html, one is a context.html, one is a home.html. So about.html, context.html, home.html. Now go to the view. Here we define home view, about view. Let's we define one more view, that is a contact view. So view contact. Now it will take request object as a parameter. Now what we are returning? We are returning render, a render function. Render function first parameter what will take? Request object. In the second parameter, it will take the template name, whose code you want to combine in HTTP response. Which template code you want to combine? I want to combine about, contact.html. So this is a template file. Okay, after defining this view, now we need to define the URL pattern for accessing these view. There are three view have created. There are three new view we have created. One is a home, about us, and contest. Go to the url.py. In the url.py, we need to define path. Yes, no. So this is the path for home page. Suppose home slash and then comma views name views.home. Now second path, and now we have path. Suppose contact, and now contact slash. Then we need to give the views.contact. Now we have required to define one more view, path. This path is for about. Now comma views dot about us. Let's save this. Now go to the browser and check here. Go to the browser. Now refresh the page. You can check here. Now here you can check here which view you want to access. Suppose I want to access home view. So you can type here URL/home. But suppose I want to access about. So what you need to do? You need to change the URL/about. You can check now you are able to access about page. If you want to access contact page, so what you need to do? You can write here /contact. You can access contact page. So in this way, what you can access different web pages, yeah, we can say, by using the URL pattern. So here you can define a view. You can check several view we have defined, and now which template code you want to return as a response. You can define say in second parameter that template name in the render function. So you can check here. Here we have created three views, but here you can check in the browser. You are able to access any view by typing their URL pattern in the URL bar. But suppose I want to create here three links, and when we click on a home, then home page needs to be rendered. When we click on about, then about page needs to be rendered. And when we click on a contact, so contact page needs to be rendered. So instead of typing URL pattern for every view, we can create a link. User can click on that link and that particular page will be open. So how we can create a link? So let's now we go to our VS Code, and here we create one more template with name index.html. Index.html. Let's we create index.html. In this index.html, let's we copy HTML basic HTML code. Let's here we write down in heading tag. Welcome to the Django project. The Django project. Let's here we created three links. So we want to create a links. So here we can you can use unordered list. I'm using unordered list. And under an unordered list, we have created three list item: li tag open and close. Under this list item, let's we create anchor tag. Using anchor tag, we can create hyperlinks. Anchor tag has one attribute href. In the href, we need to give the URL pattern. Yes, no? So to which web page you want to navigate. Let's just write here. We write down in anchor tag, we write down the text home. So you can check here. If you save it, you can check it. When we click on a home, then we want to navigate which page. I want to navigate home page. Home.html we want to return as a response. But this how we can return using go to the view. In the view we have home which returning the home.html. You can check here. Okay, this home view we need to remove it. Okay, this home what returning? This home view returning the home.html code as a response back to the client. So this view, how we can access? We can access this view slash home URL pattern. So go to the index.html. In the href, we can give that URL pattern. What the URL pattern? Slash home. Yes, slash home. We create one more hyperlink. So just copy this tag, paste here. One more time. Okay. So you can check here in the URLs. You can check here. We have defined home, contact, yes, no, and about. So go to your index.html. This is a contact. Slash contact. Let's give the hyperlink text as a contact us. Contact us. And then we have about. Slash about. About. And now here we have about us. Let's save it. Now we have created this template. But how we can render this template? So for that, we are going to define one views. So let's here we define one view. So let's I define view name just like index. Let's take which parameter request object as a parameter. You can copy just like in here. Yeah, I can give a name like main index. Main index. Now, which page we need to return which template? I want to return index.html. So now we need to bind the URL pattern for this view. So what the URL pattern? So once page is loaded, I want to return this view response back to the client. So go to the url.py, and once page is loaded, here we can use path. In the path, we can write down in a single quote empty, just like it denoting root path. So this is a root path for which views? So for views dot index, main index. Let's save it. Now go to the browser and check here. Once you refresh the page, you can check here and refresh the page. Once you run this page, you can check here. So this is a root URL. For this root URL, which page, which view needs to be invoked? For the root URL, which view? Main index view needs to be invoked. So main index view will invoke for the root URL. So now you can check here in this root URL, you can check here. Here we have three links: home, about us, contact us. If you want to access home page, you can click on home page. You can check here. Now home page is accessible. If you want to access about contact us page, you can click here contact us. Contact us page will be displayed. If you want to access about us, you can click on about us page accessible. So in this way, you can check here. Now you have not required to type the URL. Here we have links. Which page you want to access, just click on that link, that page will be accessible. But one more thing here you can check. Suppose if you click on a home page, this is the home page. This is a text, yes or no? Suppose this is a data. The data you are passed, This data you written is a hard-coded data. In the home template, this code you written in the form of hard-coded. But I want to pass this data as a dynamically. Then how we can pass? So here you can check here. Here we have defined template. In the template, I'm written some hard-coded data, but my requirement, I want to pass some dynamic data. So you have a view and you have a template. Client make a request to access a view. Suppose here we have one view with name home view. This is a home view. This is a view. This is a view. And this is a template. This is a template. Templates. So when client make a request go to the view. Yes, no? Client make a request to specify the URL pattern like /home. So now request will be handled by the view. Now view can invoke, yes, no, template. So here view redirecting the request to the template. Now template gets executed and then it return response that template code also in the form of HTTP response back to the client. But when view delegate the control from view to the controller, from view I want to supply some data. I want to supply some data to the templates for rendering. Here templates, you need to render this data. So how we can supply data from view to the template? If you want to supply data from view to template, then you can supply data from view to template using context object. So here we have one context object. You can place that context object. You can create context object and you can place your data inside a context object. Whatever data you are placing inside context object, that data is accessible in that template. So you can access that data in that template. So view is sending the request to the which template, view delegating the request to which template, home template. So from the view, whatever data we have placed in the context object, that data will be accessible in that template. So what is a context actually? Context is nothing just like a dictionary. Context is nothing we can say. Context is just like a dictionary. So context is a dictionary with the variable name as the key and their value as the value. So context just like a dictionary object which store the data in the form of key and value pair. So let's understand how we can use context object to pass the data dynamically. So let's understand how we can use. So here, go to our view. You can check here. Go to our view. Okay, I have copied this text. I will want to pass this text as a dynamic text. Okay, just copy this text. Go to the home view. Go to the view. This is a home view. What my requirement? I need to pass the data in from view to template. I need to pass the data from view to the template. Actually, whenever client make a request by specify URL, so whatever view or configure for that URL, that view will get invoked. And then we can delegate delegate control to template. While view delegating the control to the templates, whatever some data I need to pass from view to template. So we want to supply some data or some information from view to template. So we can supply data from view to template using context object. So context object helps to pass data from view to template. Using context object, we can pass data from view to template. Okay, so let's now we are trying to pass. So here we have created some, you can check here. Here we have created some views. Let's we remove this part first of all. Let's check here, guys. Now go to the home view And here we have one object that is a context object. You can check it. We have which object? Context object. Yeah, we create suppose one my data. Yes, no? I have created one dictionary with my data. Let's data. Yes, no? Yeah, we give name like data, whatever data you want to pass. So you can give some, you can store data in the form of key and value. Dictionary hold the data in the form of key value. Suppose I create one key like title. Okay, I title. Now, what is the title value? Suppose title value, suppose this. This is a home page. This is a home page. I have created this data. Now, this data I need to supply to view. Sorry, I need to supply this data from view to the template. So when you're returning the render function first parameter will take as a request object. Second parameter, it will take as a template name, whose code you want to combine in HTTP response. In the third parameter, you can supply that context object. In the third parameter, you can check it here, context object. In this context object, I want to store our data. So we assign our data into this context. So this data we have dumped, our data we have dumped into this context object. Context object is nothing just like a dictionary which hold the data in the form of key and value pair. And whatever data you are placing in the context object, that data can be accessible into their view. So your view is returning, actually, whatever data you have dumping into the context object, that data is accessible into their templates. So this view returning which template? This view returning the home.html. So from this view, whatever data we are placing in this context object, that data will be accessible in home.html page. You can access that data in home.html. Okay. So let's now we are try to access. How we can access? So go to our view. This is our view, and now this view returning which template? Home.html. So go to the home.html, and now within this heading tag, so now what we want to, I want to render that data. Within this heading tag, I want to render that data. How we can access that data? If you want to access that data, whatever data your passes from view to template, you can access that data using template variable. You can check here, guys. The values to the template variable should be passed from view in the form of dictionary as an argument to the context object. So which is, you can check here, go to your views, whatever dictionary you have, we have one dictionary data. What is that dictionary we store into context. So in this context, we have one key title. So go to the home.html if you want to access. So in the template, you can use template variable like double curly braces. You can write double curly braces. Within a double curly braces, you can write that variable name, key name, whose value you want to access. I want to access which value? Title value. Title. So I have created one title key. Yes, no? So how you can access? So in the template, you can write double curly braces. Within a double curly braces, you can place those, yes or no, template variable name. Just like template variable name, it means here we have one variable with name title. I want to access which variable value? Title variable. Let's save it. Now go to the file and save all. And now go to the browser and now check here once more again. Refresh the page. If you click on home, you can check here. Now you can check it. This is the home page. Now you are able to access. This is a dynamic text. So you are not writing this text in the title hard-coded value. Now you can check from view whatever title contains value, that value will be a render. Similar in the about.html, in contact.html we can do. Go to the views and just we have copied this. And now suppose in about us, I have created one data, one dictionary. We have one variable with name title, but now we have different value for this about us page. So I'm writing just like this is a about us page. About us page. And now we can pass that data in the third argument in the form of context object. Context equal to data. Now similar in the contact page, yes or no? I have created one data dictionary. Now here we pass context equal to data. So you can check here. Here we have make it dynamically. We are supplying data from view to the template. When client make a request go to the yes or no URL. First of all, it will check which view is bind with this URL pattern. That view will invoke. And now view returns HTTP response back to the user. That HTTP response can include template code also. In this template, from the view, I want to pass some data to the template. So you can pass data from view to template in the form of context object. Context is nothing. Context is a dictionary, just like a dictionary. And context is a variable name, variable value mapping that pass to a template. So you can pass data from view to the template using context object. And now how you can access those data? So just like go to the about us. So you can check here. Here we want to access that template, that data that we have passed from view to template. So in this template, if you want to access, you can use just double curly braces. And here you can wrap, yes, no, that variable name whose value you need to bind here. So which variable value? Title variable. Here you are not binding hard coded data. Whatever title has value, that value will be bind here. Similar, go to the contact.html. Here also we want to bind dynamic information. So how we can write? Just double curly braces. And now within a double curly braces, here we can write title. Let's save it and go to the browser. And let's refresh this page once again. If you click on home page, you can say home page. This is a home page. If you click on contact text, okay, we need to change that text. Actually, we have not changed the text, just we have copied. So go to the views, and here you can check here. This is about page. This is a contact page. Yes or no? Contact page. This is a contact page. This is a contact page. This is a home page. Let's now again refresh. If you click home, this is a home page. If you click on contact us, this is a contact page. If you click about us, this is about page. So you can check here. Here we have create menu. Yes or no? You're not required to type the URL in the URL bar to access any view. Here we have created links. So if you click on home page, home link, then home page will be rendered as an output. You can check it. If you click contact us, you will get contact us page as a response. And here you can check here. We are passing the data dynamically. So what happened? So here you can check here. You have created a view. And here view returning template code as a response. So this is your view, suppose. And this is your templates. Now client can make a request to access a view. Client can make a request to access a view. How can access client? By specify some URL pattern. / here you can specify whatever URL pattern you have. Yes or no? Now once view is invoked, now view can delegate request to template to execute the template code. And now while view invoke the template code, executing the template code, you can pass data from view to template in the form of context object. So you can place data in the form of context in the context object. So context object nothing is like a dictionary. So whatever data you are placing here, that data can be accessible in the template. You can access that information in the template. And now finally, Once template code gets executed, now it will include in the HTTP response that code, and finally it return the response back to the client. So I hope it's clear how we can create a view, how we can create a template, and how we can return template code as a response back to the client, and how we can pass information from view to the template. If you want to pass any information from view to the template, we can pass through context object. Context object is nothing just like a dictionary which store the data in the form of key and value pair. Whatever data you want to pass, you can place that data into the context object in the form of key and value pair, and that data you can access in the template by using their keys. So that data you can access just by template variable, using template variable within double curly braces, and here you can specify that key name whose value you want to access. Now I hope it's clear. Thank you.